Alright, I got something quite disappointing for y'alls. As always, I come to disappoint. In Path of Exile, there's a concept of you gotta go all in on whatever you do. So, if you're doing a Hand of Wisdom in Action claw build, you have to go all in on the ant stacking. If you want this to be the best build you can have. That is true 100% of the time in Path of Exile. But if you're a bit of a dumbass, you can do what I do and try to split amongst multiple different concepts. So I am trying to grab overpowered concepts in different areas. The first one being this node on the Inquisitor, extremely overpowered, ignoring enemy elemental resistances. Second thing I'm trying to abuse, Nightblade support, extremely broken at the current stage of this game, very overpowered. And the next thing I'm trying to abuse is auras. Now, an aura stacker all by themselves is better than this build. An int stacker all by themselves, without a doubt, better than this build. And my starting poison Nightblade Reeve build is better than this build. But this build is still pretty interesting because it's combining multiple different aspects along with Replica Abyssus and Laurel Weave, two items which don't get a lot of love. So this Laurel Weave, there we go, using Reeve, so I'm saying Laurel Reeve instead of Laurel Weave. I might just call it Laurel Reeve from now on because that's probably going to be my build name, Laurel Reeve. Anywho, I turned in a bunch of rings and happened to get this Laurel Reeve, and I 5-linked it and hit it with a corruption and then corrupted a 6-link on it. So, because I was able to get this for the cost of basically 50 rings, I'm going to try it out. It's actually pretty nicely rolled. The elemental damage is 48, which is near max, and the crit, I think, is high. Oh no, the crit is the only bad part, really. The crit is super low, but the attributes is high, which the attributes is actually pretty good for being high because I'm running an attribute build. I only have 1000 int, which is way too low for one of these claw builds. But because I'm also stacking auras, I am running Wrath, Anger, and Haste, as well as Petrified Blood for the low life, Discipline to get a fuck ton of energy shield. Let's take a look at this. Energy shield.
I must have time to gather my
1500, basically doubling my energy shield there. Lots and lots of energy shield. I'm an Inquisitor, so I have lots of regen of energy shield. Delicious coffee. I'm also using low life, and so to abuse low life a little bit, I'm using this ring. Normally this ring is dog shit, but I happen to have an increased attack speed and one with dex and int on it as a percentage. So it's not that bad with those modifiers. So I'm using this, which also gives me some chaos resistances. Not enough, so chaos is still going to be pretty weak. My character is super low, so I still might path into here and get some chaos resistance, just to path right in here. I could even swap out one of these and do some chaos, or swing up in here and get some chaos. Either way, some chaos resistance might be good for me, and reducing my curse also might be good. So let's take a look at my pathing. Let's close that out. I went up this way and got this because it has strength and int, and because of Shaper's Touch gloves, strength is pretty good as well as int. So then I went through here just because these are big old fatty life nodes, and this mostly for the resistances. 12 resistance, 24 elemental. I need those resistances because I am barely passing through. I don't know how well your resistances are 78 is going to offset the 40% increased elemental damage. I could run this setup where my flask recharge with the little node thing here. Forget what it's called, but I can use 4 or 3 flask and then put in the elemental damage reduction ones for fire, cold, and ice to reduce the amount of damage I'm taking, and have those up at all times to reduce the flask count. But I'm not sure I need that just yet. So I'm pumping up into here to get resistances. This is obviously just a strong ES and life node. Another thing that GGG used to suck at is ES and life hybrid builds. They were never really a thing until probably the past, I don't know, 10 leagues. I used to always have to do either or. Hybrid never worked. There was one build that used mana as a primary damage dealer, a Hierophant I believe it is, and that worked pretty okay. But beyond that, no, never really worked out very well as a hybrid. Let me make sure I got all these casts. It looks like I got a lot of life, so I got my vitality, my precision, and my clarity taking my life. Precision, vitality, where is clear? Yeah, they're all casted. I guess I just got more life than I used to. So it's going into here to get, again, for the resistances, and for the damage, and for the leech. I'm doing all damage types, I'm pretty sure. I have cold in there. Yes, I do. My cold is coming from... Oh, yeah, probably just from the Abyssus. I have this jewel here. I have quite a few buffs on me, so that adds a lot of fire. So 664, let's just take it off and see what it does to like a flat number. 634, so like 30,000 damage just from a jewel. And it gives me corrupted blood, so that's kind of nice as well. But more importantly, it gives me a little bit of extra fire damage, so you can see my damage is there. I'm pumping out with Reeve, because I really like Reeve. Pulverize, awaken elemental damage, awaken multi-strike, Nightblade, and increase critical strikes. Now, this increased critical strikes normally wouldn't be what you run, but because of the Inquisitor's passive here, where critical strikes ignore resistances, you want your critical strike at 100%. And so that's why that jewel's being used. A more gooder version of this build would be able to remove this and get its critical strike chance up in a different fashion. In fact, I wanted to stack a whole nother element to this build, which would be utilizing power charges in Badge of the Brotherhood, because Badge of the Brotherhood also pumps up Nightblade, and it happens to have Dex and Int on the attributes. But I was able to find this amulet here with 15% attributes, a bunch of Int, and more attributes to it with life and fire res and attack damage. Physical attack damage leeches life, which I don't have a lot of, but you know, there's a little bit of it. I was able to find this for super cheap. This was like, I think 20 to 30 C. No one really wanted to use it. Most people use the wolf version, which is significantly better. This right here primarily just pumps up my resistances. This is an extremely good shield. So aside from the shield, this is a relatively cheap build. This is a perfect rolled claw, so this is an expensive claw, but you don't need the dex to be that high. I just happen to want it. These gloves, critical strike chance on the attack, probably like 1 divine. You can do it without that. These are super cheap. It's just an 18 attribute with 15 elemental resistance. Maybe a divine, maybe not. These are just basic boots. I wanted the life regeneration rate and the int on the boots. So I got life regeneration rate and the int, and then rolled the action speed and the life regeneration. So those are pretty good. Now, the ideal version of this build probably would use power charges, but I'm kind of actually sick of charges. All of my builds have used charges, so I bowed out of charges. So that would be a great thing to replace this critical strike chance support with, would be the power charge on hit.
Must have time to gather my will.
Jewel. I think that's what it's called. Power charge on... It's either power charge on crit or power charge on something. This right here. Power charge on critical strike. So this would probably be the ideal thing to replace that with. Especially because this hot mamma jamma here gives me an additional 4% life on this power charge right here. So I just popped this 1 power charge. It might even be worth it just for that 1 power charge to switch over. Assuming I can get up to 100. So, Nightblade support, as I said. This right here is an extremely strong lethal pride, because it does multi here, strength there, crit there, strength there, and that strength works very well in my build, because it pumps up a bunch of different stats because of my gloves. Inventory, my gloves. See, the extra strength is giving me more mana. The extra strength is giving me energy shield. Mana and energy shield. So that's kind of nice. This helmet works out pretty well in synergy because the melee crit multiplier is extremely good, and it's adding just a fuck ton of flat damage of all 3 types. And because the Inquisitor ignores all 3 types, I'm not really pumping up anything other than flat elemental damage. I got a little bit of lightning damage here because getting flat elemental was a little too pricey, but this right here increases my shock, and this just more res and more elemental. So it's a little bit of preferred lightning damage being the preferred damage to do, but for the most part it's pure elemental. And I'd love to be able to get this node here, but currently I'm too low level. But if I can get a few extra levels, I can path over here, get another socket, get that, and that would be part of the power charge version of this build. I'd get the power charge there, get the power charge there, get the power charge here. But I think I need to be a level 100 to do that. I can pump these out, but I like the elemental resistance to get 2 there. So I'll probably just level up this build a little bit. So I think I talked about everything in the build. And as I said at the beginning, a pure int stacker is going to be better. A pure aura stacker is going to be better. And then a dedicated Nightblade, probably with poison, is going to be stronger. But this awkward hybrid of all of those skills put into one does create a pretty interesting build. It's extremely fast. It's relatively tanky without using either Grace or... you don't want anything with reduced aura, that's for sure. With using Grace, yeah, steal the charges all you want. Fucking tired of using charges. Fuck yes, perfect. I want you to steal my charges that I do no longer use. So the build is quite good. I am missing something here. I really am. Unless I did something to give me just an extra bit of life, it's going to annoy me. Oh well. I could put a banner in there if I wanted to. But I have Steel Skin with cast on damage taken, which is something I usually don't run. Got my Whirling Blade, Withering Step, and Life Tap on there. My 3 big auras on here because of the 30% aura reduce. And just an open green. 1 open slot for something. I could probably toss a curse in there maybe, but then that's another button I have to push. And I don't want to hit more buttons. I could put punishment as a curse to do more damage. Because you'll see, regular minions, even yellow mobs, really aren't a problem. Bossing, however, with this build is a bit of a problem. A bit of a problem only in the regards of, like, this is a high-end build. This isn't really a starter. This is competing with some of that other crazy shit that everybody else builds, and it's obviously probably not up to scuff. But there's a version of this build that's probably 3 divines that managed to mold these 3 aspects into one. The 3 aspects being auras, ant stacking, and Nightblade. Molds it into one for a relatively inexpensive package that does a lot of damage. But I guess it would be relatively inexpensive if you have enough of those small cluster jewels and you got enough stuff to roll them. Because to buy those, it's like a divine a pop to get those small cluster jewels, and that makes it a bit pricey. Then those big cluster jewels, if you're doing elemental damage, are also pricey. I think they're at minimum 3 divine to get a 3 slotted elemental large cluster jewel. So that's a bit pricey, but it's the end of the league, and I think most people, if you've been playing pretty regularly, are just fat with currency. I'm fat with items, so I kind of prioritize items over currency. I just like to get a big old storage full of cool and useful items. Every now and then I sell them to recoup my losses. But you see that boss, it was a little slow. It was pretty fast, but it was still in the same regard a little slow, just because the competition for really good builds is super high. And, you know, it's difficult to beat. So let's do some kind of a big old boss stuff. I hate this boss, so I'm going to do this boss. Let's make sure it's got a corruption on it. Reflect physical. I think I do so much physical that I will die. Yeah, the 706 to 8, that'll kill me on physical. Reflect. More elemental resistance. That's beautiful. Chaos resistance. Absolutely beautiful. I don't think I get ignited. Let's see. Cannot be frozen. Dex. Dex is not higher than int. Cannot be ignited if strength is higher than dex. Yes. I am immune to ignite from the belt. I am immune to shock from the belt. And my Pantheon gives me immune to frozen. And I just use this. I probably should use the bleed one. Or the corrupted blood one. But I have corrupted blood protection. So I don't really know what is best. So I'm just doing this one. So I can kind of hold still and get some physical damage reduction. And that 2% life regeneration while stationary is going to apply to both my energy shield and my life. I think this is it. Temporal chains might be a little rough. And then monsters having crit. Look at that crit. But I think with this lucky shit, it might not be so bad. I don't know what kind of damage type this boss does. If he's doing elemental damage, that'll be great, because then we could see how much extra elemental damage I'm taking from that helmet.
This is not a battle you can win, hatchling.
We will fight side by side.
Take some tentacle shots. Yeah, those tentacle shots will kill me. I could take a 1 or 2, but my regen isn't quite up high enough to take multiple shots of that. So you gotta be mobile a little bit with this build. Okay, I think I got all of my auras up. Now dying is annoying simply because of the auras. Where you at, buddy? So it's not an ultra uber tank where you can just hold through everything. And as you see, my shocking, I'm trying to talk and play at the same time, making it a bit difficult. But you saw I took that giant penis tentacle slam. Yeah, everything has been cast. And if I wasn't talking, I wouldn't have died. I was trying to talk about my shock. So shock is in the 40 to 37 range, so you definitely want to probably do something to up your shock so you can get 50 shocks, or even maybe go for the big boy 65 shocks. So you probably want to build like a bossing variant. And this is not the bossing, this is the mapping variant. But the boss damage isn't terrible, especially if you get that 43 shock, which seems to be my limit for the shock. Of course, I'm not holding down my button properly for Nightblade. Probably can't survive a hunger slam. Next time he does it, I'm gonna let it hit me.
Energize the spheres.
Really bad at walking at these, and I just realized that doing the dash instead of walking. Oh, goddammit, I was gonna let that hit me. The instincts to play better when I want. There we go, hit me. Okay, I dodged it. Or blocked it. I don't have good dodge or block, so it's kind of rare that I would dodge and block it. Fucking bow. Started out giving me a ton. Fucking ton of the Ashes of the Stars, but lately it's just been giving me a bow. So on my defenses, armor is only, 23% physical damage reduction. And the evasion is just enough to give me 10%. So to pump up the evasion, it might be a good idea to hit these two nodes and get also this 1% regeneration. So if I level up 2 more times, or actually I might even just get rid of this node here. But I like the movement speed because I'm super zoom. But that physical damage does jack shit. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. That physical damage doesn't do jack shit, because I'm doing mostly lightning. So I can pop that node there to get me that 1% regen, which isn't a lot because I don't have a lot of life. But it's something. So let's take a look at these defenses that I'm rocking. Now the evasion is just slightly higher, which probably isn't worth it, but I got more energy shield there. For me, I think I want to get to like 30% evasion and 30% physical damage reduction. So the 30% evasion is for those fucking tiny little dickwads that'll surround you and just start sucking you off. It's not so bad because I have 24% block, which is also extremely low block. But with a 24% block and a 30% evasion, enough of the damage is being mitigated to where my energy shield can recharge. So that's the objective. Getting that energy shield recharge. Now I'm rocking this discipline. I could drop off the discipline and lose half and still have 1500 energy shield. And it really isn't that big of a deal until you're taking big one-shots. So for mapping, I would actually pop in a Herald of Ice. Herald of Ice. Oh, do I already have that somewhere? Where's my Herald of Ice? Is it in my... Oh, it's in my second gym tab. I was getting too many gym tabs. So I'd pop this Herald of Ice or Herald of Thunder. But I kind of want the Ice. And then I would get rid of Discipline. Boop. And I put in Herald of Ice. I have a little leftover mana, which is gross. I don't like. But if I really wanted to, I can modify it so I can run a banner to help with that evasion. But anyways, so this is probably how I would run a map. Let's fight the Phoenix. Obviously, mapping, as I said, is its main point. Bossing is not, but these bosses are not so bad. Ooh, I love it. The monster elemental resistance, the chaos resistance. Avoiding elements isn't so good, but this is a good, that's a good roll. That is a solid roll. Evasion is extremely strong for these World of Eater, the blue cum shooters. You have to be able to block and evade those, or you get randomly wrecked if enough of them hit you in the face. I do like it. I like the build. It feels great to play. It's fast, it's mobile, and with the regen, it's surprisingly tanky. Obviously not tanky like a lot of other builds, but you're not going to be dying much. Eater Worlds, obviously I died a bunch because I wanted to demo a lot of the stuff. But if you just pay a little attention and don't let the tentacles hit you twice in a row, you're surviving the Eater of the Worlds battle, deathless every time. Bump. So yeah, 1500 ES is plenty, all on its own, so you don't really need Discipline. But Discipline will protect against big one-shots. But big one-shots aren't so much the danger for this build. It's those tiny little one-shots, and having more ES does not help for those one-shots because my life regeneration and my ES regeneration is based off my maximum life total, not my maximum energy shield total. Speaking of which, let's take a look. I think it's in defenses. Let's take a look while I'm playing. Defenses, look at this regen. Energy shield regeneration, where are you? Per second, 500. Life, oh, energy shield regeneration per second is 1,114. Life obviously matches. So that's 2,000 life per second being energy. And by life, I mean that's just 2,000 effective life pool being regenerated. But you can see that when I step on this flaming dirt, see that just drain down? That's the 40% extra elemental that I'm taking from my helmet. So damage on the ground from fire on the ground is annoying. But luckily I'm hybrid. Drains down my ES, but not my life. Let's now the speed of this build is from the haste and the aura effect. Haste is extremely good now that they buffed it a little. If you give it a little aura effect, I think it's good regardless of the aura effect. Haste just seems to be extremely strong now. In my opinion, it's probably the best aura. Unless you really need the evasion from Grace, then Grace obviously beats out Haste, but Haste is extremely strong. I don't know if it's being underrated, because I don't really watch too many other people play beyond myself, and I don't pay too much attention to what they're doing. So maybe it's a sleeper, maybe it's not a sleeper, I don't know. As you see, the damage is pretty low. Why it keeps trying to open that dude? I don't want to open him while I'm fighting this boss. But it's not the lowest thing you've ever seen in your life. Might be the lowest thing you've ever seen with kind of like this price point. As you see, I'm taking a few hits. I don't think I could take his big boy bomb.
This is the key to a crucible. I must have time to gather the world.
And in terms of the other Reeve build I used, which was my Poison Reeve build, this feels better mapping, because Poison kind of has to stack, so you're never one-shotting any of the enemies. You're always 2 to 3-shotting, because you got to stack that Poison. Or you're one-shotting, and then you run away while the Poison does the damage. And that doesn't feel super great. So there's 2 runs. Let's take a look at Delve. I haven't run a Delve with this yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to do Delve well. Because I have a lot of regen for when it goes into the darkness, when you believe in a thing called love. And that regen's going to be super nice. Super duper duper nice. Real nice. Now, Herald of Ice makes for some pretty cool little icy bombs. It's nice and cute and romantic. And that movement speed with the haste is like, feels super good. Just zoom, zoom. Just kind of stay in one spot. Hitty, hitty. Oh no, too much. That's where evasion would come in handy. And I was scratching my nose. So let's run that again. So it's not perfect with that, because you gotta stay mobile. Builds that are super good at Delve are ones you can just kind of hold still, to not be mobile, and just let everything hit you and just ignore it. But as you saw there, you can't let everything hit you with this build. And that has to do with the evasion, so the low evasion. I could replace anger with grace, or even haste with grace, but I love my haste, so I'd rather get rid of anger instead of haste. So you see those hits? Maybe the discipline would help in this one. Nah, you just gotta move around. There's damage over time that keeps happening. When you stand in that damage over time, it's fucking you over. It looks like there's also shot ground. I think you can actually look and see what kind of mods they have on here. Maybe not. But if you move around, it's pretty solid in the delve. It looks like. Let's try a delve boss. Do you have a delve boss anyway? I think I saw one up here a little while ago. Right here. I think this is a boss. Ball outpost. It's super great. Oh. I'm using sand instead of blood. It's super nice to not have to fucking worry about charges. Every build I've played this league pretty much has had some type of charge element to it. So, not having to maintain that is relatively nice. And I think next league I'm doing nothing with charges. It's going to be a charge-free league next league. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm going to build. But it's going to be charge-free. No charges. Now, my Poison Reeve build was way better on bosses because that poison would just fucking stack. So I'll try to play this a little professionally and try not to die. Yeah, major league gamer here. But since I also want to talk while playing, I'll not be 100%. I don't really know how to fight these bosses either. I think I gotta touch these little stones. No, I just gotta wait. Be in the darkness. Yeah, I do think you could probably, between 3 and 5 divine, get a version of this build going, assuming you've collected your what cluster jewels. Assuming you've collected your cluster jewels. I'm very bad with names, so it takes forever for my brain to recall the name of things. Sacrifice raw IQ for wisdom as you get older. You feel your raw IQ dipping a bit. Think you're just like a part. Yeah, I gotta get you and mix it with other stuff to maybe make a nice ring. I really like the delve. I spend a lot of time in here. All my friends are in the darkness, you know. Trying to find the hidden kids. That Ironheart... Wait, no, Ironheart doesn't do the delve. That Nico hid back here. You know he's hiding kids. He's basically Epstein. He's the Epstein of POE. Well, that's not a portal to get out of here. Okay, I guess I don't need a portal. I just go here.
Hail, Godslayer.
Now let's run one of these. I got a bunch of this bullshit. Rogue Exiles, additional essence. Rare unique found in the area possessed by their minions and are touched. Okay. Let's do some touched. Let's see. There's a strand. What can you get? Strand. Thicket's good. Park is pretty good. Chateau, I don't remember. I like Phantasmagoria. I think Carcass is great. Museum, sure. I'm gonna do it on the strand. Do it on the strand. Only 3? I thought I went 4. Oh yeah, that's a good combo. That's a good combo. Let's talk to this pervert.
I don't often go.
Fucking Epstein. Oh, I need to pump it. Oops. I get lazy. Rarely have my sex maxed out. Though I don't know if sex matters on this. I assume it doesn't. They don't like to... Actually, it probably does.
Keep your voice down. I don't often go.
Ooh, that minimum player resistance. I can't abide by that. The dude cannot abide. 108 for the item quant. That's nice. Reflect Fizz. I can't do it. Probably could. But this game's fucking retarded with this Reflect. Less accuracy. That's fine. Less damage from crit. Not fine, but not a deal breaker. Curse with vulnerability. A bit rough. I think it's good enough. Let's move these over here so I don't dump them into my stash again. And let's get the loot. Haven't done one of these with the touched. Wonder if that means it's gonna be like good for loot. I'm wasting it by not doing a magic find build. So Herald of Lightning is probably better than Herald of Ice. I think I already said that. But watching shit get night, chilly, get frozen up a bit. That's nice. I like it. But for a boss, I'd probably put Herald of Lightning. Why am I trying to pick that up? For a boss, I'd probably put Herald of Lightning. Reeve is just such a fucking good skill. Should buy the MTX so I can actually see where it's attacking at. I haven't quite paid GGG enough money. About 4,000 hours in this game. I think I've maybe spent $100 total with them. Maybe $100, and 4,000 hours for $100 is a bit low. So I probably ought to throw some cash their way in some way. I waited for them to do sales to get on my tabs, so my tabs weren't that pricey. Basically have no MTX. I don't really like the clutter. Only ones I got are the ones I got from playing the game. Oh yeah, that dude fucking hurts. I don't like wings. I don't like pets. I actually like it to look as bare minimum as possible, so a naked build would be great. I like the Muscle Man MTX, but I'm not doing strength stacking. I can just do it just to be naked. I didn't really notice anything special being dropped in this map. It's 38. It's good enough. Someone probably likes that, but it's not good enough. Ah, let's fucking get it. Fucking go to the pervert. What's up, pervert? How are you doing?
Often go into
Where you got the kids at? Where you hiding the kids? Oh, this is brutal. See, I probably shouldn't run this map because of my helmet. And the reduced curt. Yeah, that's about as bad as it gets for me. It was bad enough with just the extra damage. Elemental weakness. See, normally that would be an okay one to run, but I'm running too loose with my resistances. So I can't run it. You should never run just above your resistances like I do. So. And being able to run multiple maps is really strong in terms of like building up your currency, because you have to use less of it to modify these maps. Less curse effect, buffs spire faster. Yeah, this should be fine. And the mods are super important when running these, because they are thick mods. I wouldn't open this strong box normally, but it's a special map. Enhanced loot. I'll open the fucking strong boxes. Fuck strong boxes. Too stupid to run away from a strong box and all I want is loot. Touch a strong box and I'm just like loot, 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 get the loot, get the loot, loot, get the loot. Not, is it going to explode? Are the mobs going to be dangerous? It's all just in my head. Get the loot. Give me the loot. Like the song says. See, that was dangerous to dash into that. I should have died. I think I blocked a hit and it didn't kill me. That should have been my death. Whirling Blades is kind of useless in this build because your movement speed is so fast, but I should incorporate it a little more. Just has this like tiny element where sometimes you hit a Whirling Blades and then you do a pause. It's not quite smooth enough into the next Whirling Blades. I don't really know what causes that. So it's almost better if you do like tap Whirling Blades and let it rest for a second and not just hold it down. I haven't gotten it down perfectly. Whirling Blades is not typically something I use. For the longest time I was a heavy strike jugger, and then they introduced Grasping Vines, and since then I've been kind of like a cycloner. You know, the brain dead cyclone builds. You just brain dead out, spin around. It's beautiful. Love it. So a lot of the mechanics are kind of new to me, despite, you know, the 4,000 hours in this game. And I don't typically like to learn from other people, because I'm an idiot. So I try to always just experiment myself and learn myself. Sometimes I don't know things, so I'll ask around or Google. But a lot of times when you get information from people, it's fucking wrong information. Boom, survived it. No big deal at all. Let's see. Oh, did not survive that one. Got dirt in my nose. Like literally. Not. That's not a saying. Me dying. Got dirt in my nose. Let's see. I got them all. Discipline. It says I can. Oh no, I can't cast discipline. Whatever. I got them all. See, that, I think, would have been a great example of having discipline. I'll probably put it on for the final one. If it was earlier in the league, I'd be super excited about all those jewels. I love jewels, trying to find good ones. But it takes too much time to pick those up. What is my... Let's go to 5. I want to see that shit. Let's go this way. Yeah, I think I should have been a fucking farmer for this. I'm gonna be mad if I get a currency. I'm not gonna be mad. I'll obviously be happy if I get a currency guy. But I'll get that currency guy and not have any quant. I have a little bit of quant for my body armor, but that's it. Oh, fucking got me again. Hit me with some type of elemental damage. Let's not hit Herald of Ice. Let's hit Discipline instead. And I am missing one. I am missing. What am I? Right here. That would be an important one to miss. Just checking the loot. Nothing good on the loot. Let's do the last one. This is where those hidden kids are.
I don't often go.
Putting the kids in the mines. You fucking little pervert. Burn him at the stake. Oh, less recovery. Ain't doing that. Effective auras. Ain't doing that. Physical damage reduction, beautiful. Monsters cannot be affected by ailments. That's not so bad. Players are cursed with vulnerability. That's a little rough. Now with the damage, I think I can do better. I want to get elemental resistances on the enemies. Oh, physical damage reduction, multi. I'm going to be getting crit to shit. Crit to shit, but I'm hoping that my lucky damage will work out well.
Godslayer.
That crit's dangerous. I likely should just not do that shit. Ooh, hidden potential. Tried very hard to make a hidden potential build work with all blue. It does not. You have to selectively use blue, and you can get okay damage from a hidden potential. But you cannot get okay damage if you're 100% blue.
I don't often go.
It can't be done. Don't let anyone trick you. It cannot be done. You can make one that can do T16s, but you cannot make a hidden potential build with 100% blues.
Must have time to gather my will.
Don't run it. You know it's gonna blow up. I want that regret. As I was saying, I chose to use this armor simply because I have it. There's another armor that might be a better pick for this build. It is the bird armor. Because it has, I got a 6-linked one with 72 to all elemental, not all elemental, to attributes. And given that I'm an int stacker, pseudo int stacker, with a pathetic 1000 int, I think this feels like 6 million damage. And it's a stable 6 mil. So you don't have any charges to fuck with. And it's pretty tanky. If you really wanted to go tanky, you can either pop Determination and or Grace in there to tank it up a lot. I think Grace is probably the better choice than Determination. But having some physical resistance would be pretty nice. See, like right there, that death was from not having Grace and from dashing into a mob. Grace is super nice simply because you can play like an idiot a bit. There's a big protection there because of the high evasion. As you see, my experience has been gone down while recording, because when I record, I die significantly more when I play on my recorded stuff. One, because I'm talking, and two, that dude is just dangerous. Two, because I typically run a little more severe shit than I normally run. Like, I usually just do alt go. And leave it at that. That motherfucker hits hard. I don't want to walk through this map again, so I'm going to pop a portal right here. And approach him with caution. Where did he... Where is he at? Diamond flask. That's garbage. There's a lot of stuff that gimps my healing. And I have no clue. It's like mods are gimping my healing. I'll watch my healing just not heal. And I'm not sure if it's standing on dog shit on the ground, or if I'm getting hit with like crazy damage over times. Oh yeah, this map has that ridiculous crit. So that's what's happening. I'm getting fucking critted. Ridiculous crit.
I must have time to gather my will.
And since that last mob was hasted with that high crit, yeah, it's dangerous. And you see my movement speed, it's great. Do I really want to... Fuck. Do I really want to do this? Let's pick up these rings. I found one of these. It was a power charge ring, and it made my day. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
This way, exile.
Don't tell me where to go.
Kill it, exile. Quickly.
Easy, buddy. Easy. Whoa there. Whoa there, tiger. Gee. Well, let's show the difference between haste and grace. Let's pop a grace in this bitch. Grace, level 21. Let's replace that. Oh, never mind. I can't replace grace with haste, because I have a haste node. Right here. Nope, not there. Nope, not there. Wait, why can't I? I don't have a haste node. I have a wrath node. Why did it not like the grace? Or maybe it just didn't pop it and I'm an idiot. I just gotta pop it. Oh, yep, I'm just an idiot. So let's run a little bit without haste, and you'll see why haste is just fucking amazing. Look how slow I am. But my survivability should be astronomically higher. Wait, something. You want to see my fucking lightning resistance? Must be like shock ground on the ground. That's like reducing my lightning resistance, and that might be what's killing me. Oh yeah, that fucking grace is beautiful. What is my dodge with that grace? 79% chance to evade with grace. So when you're doing hard content, you can pop the grace on, but it is a pretty big 20 to 30% reduction in damage. Obviously, I'd prefer to lose hatred, I believe. Again, why do I pick up loot when there's still enemies alive? I mean, seriously, what the fuck? I can never not do it. I see the loot, I fucking want to pick it up. It's so stupid. I don't think anger does that much for me. Okay, anger does quite a bit for me. But I do think I'd rather have haste over anger. So haste and grace might be the key setup to here. Let's let my ES recharge. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. Haste and grace is the right setup. Because as you see me running without haste, it's significantly slower. Now, if I was better at, you know, whirling blades, it might make a difference. Gotta kill these motherfuckers shooting me with shit. Oh, nope, didn't even kill them motherfuckers shooting me with that shit. I'm obviously not gonna switch it mid-map, because that's annoying. One portal left. Am I gonna succeed? Put that pressure on. And obviously you can do a melding of the flesh with that other fucking shield, but I'm over that shield. That'd be doing too many strong mechanics put together. There we go. Let's fight by ourselves. Yeah, got critted. It's done. Got critted. It's done. Come on, make it worth it. What are you? You dog shit. That's what you are. You are some dog shit. Bump, 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 bump. Are you? Oh, that's not corrupted. That's gonna be easy to switch out. Good. 'Cause I fucking hate having to recolor shit. I'm gonna need blue, green, green. There we go. Wrath. Oh no. I need 2 green. There we go. Haste, grace, and wrath. Hatred, you go back on the bench. Just enough to hit everything. Beautiful.
I must have time to gather my will.
And I keep forgetting to put it on blood mode instead of sand mode. Let us, rocks. You're perfect. Elemental weakness. Neither of these work for me. Let's, clean it up. Oh no, I can't clean it up. I'm allowed to clean it up. Yeah, that'll work. I don't want the 46% more life. I want to show a bit of damage. Catava Cultist. Oh yeah, reduce effect of non-curse auras. Let's run one of those, and you can see like it shouldn't impact my resistances. You can see what it's like to run a curse reduction, an aura reduction map. Given that I'm a bit of an aura stacker, 30% of an aura stacker. About 500 lost from energy shield because of the reduction. I just looked at the evasion, so let's go to this evasion. 75% versus 80, so about a 10% in evasion. I'm going to lose a bunch of life regen from the vitality loss. But, I mean, I guess you could do it. Nothing stopping you. Oh, I got frozen. I wouldn't be playing like this without Grace. I would have to clear the mobs as I run. I wouldn't be able to dive right into the middle like that, because without the evasion, you just getting your cock sucked. No one wants that. It's all wet. You get that, like, saliva underneath your nutsack. Bit gross. Especially because I'm doing the dirty kind of ladies. They haven't brushed their teeth in like a week. So it smells like gingivitis balls. You guys know what I'm talking about. They offer, you just say yes. You can't say no. Regardless of the amount of teeth they have. And people might say, oh, it's nice when they lose their teeth. It's better. But that's only nice if they lose all their teeth. If they just got a couple missing, then those, like, tooth gaps are going to snag on your head and kind of cut it up. Never a good thing. Yeah, Grace was the right choice. The loss in damage is brutal with Grace, but the survivability is nice. That's pretty close to leveling up. I'm going to have to redo that all. I think I'm going to level up today. What am I? I'm thinking 92? Yeah, I usually get to 93 and then let that be. Not a crazy person going to 100. Crazy people. I think they just like to see themselves on POE Ninja. Or they're effective at leveling up. One of these times I'm just going to buy a bunch of those high level unique maps. Four Joys and Coward's Trial, I think. Maybe some Beachhead. Just run those to level myself up. But you see, the downside of that helmet, I think, is mostly mitigated by the 78% all-res. If I didn't have Grace, I'd be dead. Those blue cum shooters, they get me a lot. Pretty sure you can evade those. Might have just also happened to been lucky enough to dash out of it. Hopefully my shrines drop off. Don't want to fight them with the shrines. That's pretty slow. I am shocking for 50. Definitely there's faster builds out there. But it's alright. It's okay. You don't come to me for great builds. You come to me for shit builds. So, I gotta deliver the shit builds. It's mapped out enough. Anything special with you? Physical damage over time. That's a big ol'. Maybe someone want to do that with the bleed. Nope. think it has too much stuff on it. Let's see. Don't got an elder. Don't got a shaper. Don't got enough to convert. I think I'm done here. I've demonstrated this.
Have time to gather my will.
Actually, I'm gonna do a quick map. But for the most part, I've demonstrated this map enough. Let's do a waste pool. Oh, I don't have any. Wait, I might have got one. No, I did not get one. This is how lazy I am. I'm gonna pump that up there. Then I'm gonna hit it here. There we go. Yeah, let's do a less recovery rate of energy shield. So we can experience that. Now that we got the grace, actually, let us get rid of the discipline and replace that for Herald of Ice. Because with that grace, I'm not gonna be able to dodge a lot of shit. So the extra ES I don't think is gonna help that much. It'll help for giant one-shots, but 1500 and 1800 life with the low life little buff there. That should be plenty. Especially for map. I want to see the ice. Can't sing Vanilla Ice in my head without Herald of Ice. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm missing something. No, I guess I'm not. I was getting confused. Why do I have so much life? Shouldn't have that much life. Oh, it's my shrine. My shrine's giving me more life. I'm at 4,000 life. See, pretty smooth little mapper. Probably more tanky than those extremely aggressive Berserker Reeve players. But it's definitely less damage. If you've ever seen those Berserker Reeve players, they can do a lot. They can spit out a lot of damage with Reeve. But they're pure glass cannon, so they're not exactly the most enjoyable to map with. They're definitely some of the best to boss with. Saw a dude, I think he did a strength stacker Reeve, and he fought a boss. I don't know what the fuck his damage was. Infinite? He just basically killed all the bosses instantly. And while that's cool, and it's great for boss farming if that's what you're doing, I think once you get so powerful, it kind of kills the game just a little bit. Towards the end of the league, that's always kind of like when I'm least interested in playing, is when I have everything I need. So that's a kind of ironic thing for me about this game, and why I never buy the Headhunter. Once I get the Headhunter, then I'm like, that's my end, that's my chase item. Once I have the chase item, I'm kind of done with the game. There's nothing left to chase. So, now that I make videos, I can, make unique builds. This one isn't that unique, but it is trying to combine 3 different broken mechanics. But I can make builds and post them up there, and I really like doing that. So, it's a little bonus. Me doing what I like to do on top of, maybe getting some views for it. That is the build. Oh yeah, the other armor, since I can never remember what it is, it's called the bird armor, the avian armor. Might be better to run this right here, because when you pop this bad boy on, you get more ability to use auras, and it has attributes, really good attributes. But when you do that, you're going to have to do something about your resistances. Now you can do the triple potion, like I was talking about. Triple potion. You can get these cold ones here, so it's 20% less cold damage, 20% less fire, 20% less lightning. So that's going to do a lot to offset this, but you're still going to be taking 20% more, because 20 and 20, you know, is 20. And then you don't have any increased cap on it. So the better option is probably to switch out this shield for the really expensive one, Aegis Aurora, and then run Purity of Elements to pump up your resistances, and go that route. Purity of Ice, and then Purity of Elements. And then you'll have to modify how you're doing your defenses, your resistances. And that's a lot of work, and I'm not going to do that work. But this is a really good chess piece, so let's take a look at my intelligence and my damage. Let's just switch it over completely. 5, 6, 1. Move this all over. Uh, 5, 9, 2. So it does more damage because of the attributes alone. And yeah, that's it. It's just attributes. There's no buff to auras. Just the attributes alone. Is that 50 more? Does that much more damage comparatively to this. So this is only good simply because it's allowing me to get that 78%. So if you want to use something other than this, there's so many good options. So I could pop, I don't have one, but the wolf helmet. But I also have some stuff like this guy. It's got 10% mana efficiency there and 8 at the top. Then 10% physical recouped his life. So I could put this on there with the 24 Reeve radius. But let's take a look at my Reeve damage. Let's move these back over. Let's take a look at my Reeve damage when I fuck with that shit. And get rid of my Abyssus. Let's see. 561. 294. Now let's put this blood and sand back on. I can't put it on. Let's put it there for now.
I must have time to gather my will.
So you can see the damage from that Abyssus is significant. Very, very significant. And the downside from it is not that significant. But again, I do believe if you prioritized auras, it's always that way with Path of Exile. If I prioritize auras, maybe path out of all this junk here, maybe go get this, or path over here and get another cluster jewel to do an aura, or even better, by 2 low yield voices and put 2 voices in here and just purely pump the aura. Put a fucking, what do they call that shit? I got one. Purposeful Harbinger, and run 4 hatreds, 4 heralds. Herald of Ice, Fire, and Lightning. Maybe physical or poison, or just run 3. Maybe do 2 of those. Or just do to 24% to pump it. Either way, run a couple of those and just fully prioritize the auras. You're probably going to do more damage. And or, if you just get rid of these cluster jewels, or put in cluster jewels that give you intelligence, high intelligence, and run an int stacker build to do a fuck ton of int stacking. Get a split personality, because we're going pretty far. Path out this way instead, and then do split personality to get more nodes over here. Or even path over here and put the split personality here. Then path over here and grab this, and then use this one in your amulet instead of this one. So if you do a pure int stacker, you're probably going to be better off and stronger. And the int stacker is going to give you more shield. So this is basically what I'm trying to say, is I built an inferior build to basically any of the core mechanics. There's going to be fucking Nightblade builds that are better than this, that focus purely on this Nightblade mechanic. There's going to be Aura builds that focus purely on Aura that are going to be better than this, and int stackers that are going to be better than this. So, why did I make this video? I don't even know. Don't do this build. But this ring's cool. This is just cool. Come on. This is fucking cool. Got Dex, got Int. I need them both. Got attack speed. Need that. Gives me some chaos. Gives me good protection while on low life. This is fucking cool. And I'm not even using any bullshit rings. I got a couple. But the resistances are a problem. Got a couple bullshit rings that I found then. One of them does a lot of chaos. I'm not going to find it. It's in the video. Later. I lied. Not the end of the video. Let's take a look at numbers. Haven't popped it in here yet. The good thing is I don't have to do no fucking bullshit. Like, putting on the charges. Let's see, I am always on the... I like to do this first. Let's get this Reeve, include that in the full DPS. Let's enable Reeve. I don't really want to look at Vol Reeve. Fucks up my damages. Let's see. 700, that sounds about right. I am elusive. Ooh, pump that up. I am on consecrated ground. I have chilled. I have shocked. I have ignited. Have I been hit recently? I don't know. Yeah, I believe I have. No poison. No wither. They are shocked. Let's just do 40%. They are not intimidated. They are not crushed. They are not unnerved. They are not covered in any of that jazz. Blood stance. They are a boss. 2.7 is what it says. Might be missing something. Because that seems a bit low, but it might be accurate. Yeah, that's probably accurate. Now let's take a look what it's like. Let's drop this grace and put in anger. At level 21 anger. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Anger's pretty strong. But it only puts it at 3.2. Now, I wish there was a way I can just pump up my int. Actually, yeah, let's just see what 30 int does. Where do we got a 30 int? Oh, we ain't got a 30 int nowhere. So 30 int is a pretty significant bump. Bump. That's not that much of a bump. I could path into these claw nodes, but the extra crit damage is not that spectacular. This one would probably be better because of the attack speed. I can take a look at what that did. Yeah, that wasn't that special. Neither is that one. I'm only running there because of 15 melee crit. The other stuff's nice too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's would explain why it looks a little lower than it should be. Just a little. 3.6. That sounds a little more accurate. I was tempted taking this. Because I don't need the leech. Pretty good. Pretty good little pump up to my effective health pool. Or the max hit I can take. Yeah, it might be worth it. Let's see what happens. I was... configuration, using power and frenzy. Power doesn't do much because I'm already basically at 100%. Yeah, that's the build. Now let's generate this. Oh wait, yeah, I'll generate it with Wrath on, or Anger. Now I am done.